And we are live. Welcome into the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast morning show for Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burleyman Gaming. Burley, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm enjoying my vacation.
Nice.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I had a day off today. It's like the foundation of the nation day here in Japan. So
it's like a holiday every 3 days for you guys over there.
It seems like it. Yeah. But yeah, it's a regular day tomorrow and Friday. Well, we don't have Thanksgiving out here like like the Americans do. So tomorrow is a regular work day for us, and Black Friday as well. So
yeah, Thanksgiving's in October for us Canadians.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just a little programming note before we get into the show today. Tomorrow, out of respect for, of course, Thanksgiving and Black Friday for everybody out there in the U.S. and everything, we're going to be taking tomorrow and Friday off for the morning show, and we will be back again on Monday for our regularly scheduled time and programming. So, the next edition of the morning show after today will be on Monday next week. So we just want to wish everybody out there in the U.S., especially, happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to go back to your hometown and everything. If you are traveling either by car or by airplane. So, and then of course, Black Friday, take advantage of those deals, and enjoy the Christmas shopping. We will be back on Monday. So, just to let everybody know that. So, Burley, it's like my son, he came home yesterday and he was telling me that Pokemon, the story is probably one of the best stories in all the Pokemon games. Well, what do you think?
I'm enjoying the story, but I know Carl and Tweel and others will be like, story in Pokemon game? What? The story is better than some of the past entries. I'll give it that. I'm still not done the story on it, so I can't say. I don't want to say too much on it, but you know what? Yeah. This game has its problems. Like, I had my first crash last night.
Oh, really?
That was 20-something hours in, I had a crash. It's not like Resident Evil, where under 2 hours I had a crash.
Yeah. Well, I was mentioning, the bugs and the crashes to my son. And he goes, well, the reason for that is because it's on the Switch.
Oh, no. Okay.
That's just,
I could, do you want my thoughts on that, or want me to save that?
Yeah, save it for the podcast, maybe on Saturday. So,
Okay.
Because we'll be talking about the games we've been playing and all. I'm still playing God of War Ragnarok, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. It's really good.
And I get to play that next week. My copy came in late.
Yeah, well, next week, I'm hoping to get well into the game, because of course the end of next week, Callisto Protocol comes. That's my most anticipated game. I'm excited for. So looking forward to playing that one, man. So yeah. But anyway, we got a great show for you. We're going to be talking about the Golden Joystick Awards. Burley, the Golden Joystick Awards turned 40 this year. Ooh. 40. So I was in junior high school when the first awards came out. That's how old I am, getting old. And you know what? I learned today on Twitter, when I was just browsing around on Twitter, the Halle Berry James Bond film.
Die Another Day.
20 years old today. 20. Can you believe that? 20. Time flies, man. It's crazy. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to be talking about the Golden Joystick Award winners. And then, of course, Sony investing further in Chinese development studios. We're going to be talking about that. And then China has resolved gaming addiction, Burley. They have resolved it. My God. It's a miracle. They have resolved it. We're going to be talking about that and, their steps into, pushing game development now, since their gaming addiction has been cured. So we're going to be talking about that later in the show. But first, let's go ahead and get the drone. Let's fly that out, and then we're going to get to our first story, okay? So Burley's got to get the drone controller.
I forgot to have the controller on the desk. My bad.
All right, here we go. We'll be right back right after this. right, so all the Golden Joystick Award 2022 winners. I'm not going to read off every single one of them. I mean, because there were some kind of weird ones, but I mean, you can check it out. The link is below here for gamesradar.com. So the Golden Joystick Award winners. So I'm just going to read some of them off, and then we'll give our reactions to them. And of course, those of you that might be out there watching, you can react in the comments if you'd like. So here we go, Burley. Best storytelling. Horizon Forbidden West wins best storytelling. It's of the nominees. Horizon Forbidden West, Return to Monkey Island, Immortality, Norco, I Was a Teenage Exocolonist, and Wayward Strand. Yeah, I could see it winning of that group. But I'm surprised that there were some other entries not in this. Because I think for the Game Awards, I think even, I think God of War Ragnarok might be one of them as well.
God of War Ragnarok was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Elden Ring in the story's decision?
Yeah.
I'm glad to see Horizon win something to win here.
Yeah.
Because at the Game Awards, I don't think this game's, unfortunately, because this game came out at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Came like a week before Elden Ring and then just got buried, unfortunately.
Yeah. But of course, in the Golden Joystick Awards, Elden Ring was, it won a lot of awards, and we're going to be talking about that. So, Still Playing Award, Genshin Impact for Still Playing. So I can understand that one.
Oh yeah.
Best visual. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say that one's not a shock to anyone because Genshin has become so huge over the last year with all the different events. You had Aloy in it earlier in the year.
Yeah.
You've had so much.
And watch, you're gonna get Kratos later too. He'll be in it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Best visual design, Elden Ring was the winner. So visual design. Studio of the Year, From Software. Yep. Of course, Elden Ring, From Software.
I'm gonna save my thoughts for a little rant at the end. So we'll go.
Okay. Best game expansion. Cuphead, The Delicious Last Course was the winner.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah.
The Kaito file should have been up to be nominated, but Cuphead, that DLC with giving you a new character and
so
how much
good.
people love Cuphead,
So
we loved what was it at E3 they did. Remember they actually had they had people dressed in like 1930s garbs, singing The Delicious Last Course and all that. It's like they hit the head on the head with the marketing and all that.
Yeah.
So
Best early access launch went to Slime Rancher 2. So that was interesting. Yeah. Best indie game, Burley. I think you called this one during the podcast last week. Cult of the Lamb.
This game has exploded. This is a game I'm eagerly waiting to pick up and try.
Yeah. Best multiplayer game went to Elden Ring.
That I have a problem. I
kind of don't consider it a multiplayer game, but I mean, it has multiplayer elements, but
you can consider it multiplayer in some ways. The problem is the multiplayer. Anyone that played this, especially early on, can tell you the multiplayer is not the way they have it has not worked well,
right?
Especially when it launched. So that I take offense. I would rather, and I hate saying this, I'd rather see Infinite win here.
Halo Infinite, yeah.
Infinite, like Call of Duty, there were better games that had better multiplayer. Sorry to say.
Yeah. Best game community, Final Fantasy 14. Yeah. So still chugging along there. Yeah. So next up, best gaming hardware, Burley, the Steam Deck.
Steam Deck. Nice.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. And of course, those of you that are new to the Arena Productions YouTube channel here, we have several Steam Deck videos up. Go and check them out. We did our Steam Deck review, and as well as some games that Burley has played on the Steam Deck. So.
And also our little short on the dock as well.
That's right. Yes. Breakthrough Award went to Vampire Survivors. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Critics' Choice Award goes to Elden Ring. Yeah, obviously. The critics, yeah.
Yeah.
So best performer, Man Engage from Immortality. So she's the winner. Yeah. Nintendo Game of the Year, Pokemon Legends Arceus.
That one I disagree. I loved Arceus, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like there's some other games I think were better.
Yeah, well the nominees were Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Pokemon Legends Arceus, which won, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Live Alive, Splatoon 3, and Nintendo Switch Sports.
Yeah. And
I'm sure you believe that Kirby won, right?
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. I Kirby gets shafted. That's the thing. Yeah. It's like Ratchet and Clank for Insomniac.
Yeah.
It's a franchise that's always going to get shafted.
Yep. Hey Fubu, welcome into this, to the show, and I just want to say, in about my time here in Japan, in about an hour and 20 minutes, Japan plays in the World Cup. So, yeah, my wife and son are going to be watching that. So I'll be watching Andor, and then after Andor, I'll watch some of the match. But PC Game of the Year, Return to Monkey Island, Burley. That's I was surprised a little bit at that. Yeah, so
that seems more of a just a gimme.
Yeah, but here's one that I'm kind of. It won, okay, but I'm like, should it really have won? PlayStation Game of the Year went to Stray.
I love Stray, but
yeah,
it's not really. Fubu says, "I hope Japan wins."
Thank you, Fubu. Yeah, so.
But Stray isn't technically a PlayStation game; it's also a PC game. So I'd rather see Horizon, God of War. You would have thought would have been put here.
I'll just say this, Fubu. I don't think Japan's going to beat Germany, but we shall see. Japan has a really, really tough group. I think they have Germany, Costa Rica. I forget which the other team is. Spain. Yeah, so they've got a tough one. But anyway, PlayStation Game of the Year, Stray. Yeah, I mean, God of War Ragnarok wasn't even, in the nominations. Maybe it just didn't make the cutoff for the Golden Joystick Awards, I think. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Xbox Game of the Year went to Grounded. So obviously Grounded was in early access, and now it has gone, it was a full launch. So, most wanted game.
Their list for the Xbox is pretty not Halo Infinite, Scorn, Grounded, which makes sense. As does Fall, Sniper Elite 5, multi-platform.
Yeah.
And Dying Light 2, multi-platform. Why are you just putting that just to have more choices? Yeah. And that's something I don't like. You should be putting the games, if it's for the best Xbox game, put the best exclusive Xbox game.
I think the reason Halo Infinite's in there is probably because it didn't make the list last year. It didn't make the cutoff time. It's probably like God of War Ragnarok, so in this year's case. But most wanted game, Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, for next year for them.
I
understand.
Yeah. Ultimate Game of the Year. I love how it's the ultimate game of the year. Elden Ring is the winner. Yeah. Actually, God of War Ragnarok is in this group. I mean, this is the only category that it was actually in, I think. So
yeah.
God of War. Yeah. God of War Ragnarok. But Elden Ring is the winner. So that is the list. Go ahead, Burley.
So this just shows to me how much they were just jerking off Elden Ring, FromSoft. There are categories: best multiplayer game. No, it does not. I'm sorry, you cannot. With how the multiplayer state in that game is, you cannot call it the best multiplayer game. Yeah. I am sorry. Studio of the Year, I can understand people being picked. Best visual design, I can understand why it's being nominated.
Yeah.
Game of the Year, I can understand. I have my thoughts that I shouldn't, but I know it's going to win on all these publications, but it's just in this Golden Joysticks, they literally just put Elden Ring everywhere they could, and it was just really? And it's God of War only got nominated in one category. I haven't even played the game, but from everyone I've heard from, It's like, and you look at the Game Awards. God of War is at least nominated in several categories.
Right.
Like,
yeah. It's another. The Golden Joystick Awards. It's like a lot of gamers can actually vote. So maybe that had a factor in the reason why God of War Ragnarok wasn't in some of these categories. I don't know, but anyway, that is the Golden Joystick Awards 40th. So Game Awards is up next. That'll be the big one, December 8th, and of course we will be covering it, and we will be reacting to the winners. So,
oh yeah,
and please go check out our last episode of the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News podcast, where we did talk about, for example, God of War Ragnarok or Elden Ring, which is going to be the winner. We talked about that, so go and check that out. All right, Burley, next up, it looks like Sony's going to be investing more in Chinese development studios. We're going to talk about that next, so stay tuned. All right, Sony investing further in Chinese development program that found games like Genshin Impact. So the link is below here from the IGN article. I'm going to read a little bit of this for you. This is from George Yang. So according to Reuters, Sony is going to expand its program to incubate game development in China in order to beat out other competitors such as Microsoft. Go figure, right?
Yeah.
Sony Director of Chinese Game Production, Bao Bo, notes that the program will invest more than 1 million yuan, or approximately $140,080, into each game and fund development teams of all sizes. As part of the China Hero Project, Sony will be publishing the Final Fantasy XV-inspired action RPG Lost Soul Aside, as well as a multiplayer third-player shooter title, Convaleria. Both games will be available for both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So outside of the China Hero Project, Sony found a smashing success in Genshin Impact, which it received an exclusivity deal. There we go, exclusivity deals. Microsoft reportedly regretted missing out on making Genshin Impact an Xbox exclusive. So in response, Microsoft now has reportedly been trying to scout for more Chinese video game developers to work with, and is looking to entice them with large Xbox Game Pass offers. So, some games from the China Hero Project have already been released, such as Anno Munitium and Fist, forged in Shadow Torch. So, Burley, it looks like the battleground for game developers now is ramping up and focusing largely on China. What do you think? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, and you can just tell by this image here. This is so a ripoff of Final Fantasy 15, just with this image alone.
Yeah.
Like, this is a hate when I see this with, like, China. It's just like, we're ripping this off. But you can't touch us because we're China. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, Fubu said, loved Genshin Impact. Yeah, like I get it for Sony. You can make a lot of money.
I'm surprised Microsoft didn't pick up on that. I mean, just they should have got that game. They really should have put more effort into it. Yeah,
but it was dumb on them. But also, you didn't know how well Genshin was going to take off. Genshin was a risk. There's always a really good chance that something like that is going to fail. Right, for every one that lands like Genshin Impact, there's 10 of these kind of games that just don't come over well and lose.
Yeah, so I mean, PlayStation's play here is that they're trying to pick up as many development studios in China, here in Asia, as they can to counteract what Microsoft is doing with the Western development studios with Game Pass. Because if this Activision Blizzard deal is definitely going to go through at some point, and we're going to be talking about that more on the podcast this coming week, because obviously there was news about Microsoft giving PlayStation a 10-year deal for Call of Duty to be on PlayStation. Obviously, they're not going to accept that either. They're not going to probably accept any deal. So when this deal goes through, I mean, yeah, Sony's only real play at the moment is going to be to try to pick up as many development studios as they can out of China. You know, because that's where the market's going to be. Like I said, I mentioned this many times before. Here in Japan, yeah, at the Tokyo Game Show this past year, you know, back in September, there were more Chinese development booths in the convention center than ever before.
Yeah.
So
I remember saying that.
So they're going to be making a play for as many of these as they can, and maybe these Chinese developers, being that it's even though it's Japan, it's still based in Asia, so they can they can communicate and do business with them. So Microsoft is, if they want to do business, not only Japan, I mean, because they're putting a lot of time and effort into Japan now, and that's a good thing. But they're going to have to focus on China too.
Oh yeah,
because the well in Japan is going to dry up at some point.
Yeah,
this China's going to have just 10 times more development, studios. Go ahead, you were going to say.
Well, we got Fubu in the chat saying, I think Microsoft didn't believe in Genshin because it was too Japanese. A lot of waifus similar to Zelda, but it was a mistake. Well, it was Chinese, not Japanese, but
I was gonna say, Fubu, a lot of the Japanese streamers out here, they complained that in the game they tried to make it look more Japanese, but it wasn't Japanese. So yeah, but that's another story. But anyway, go ahead, Burley.
Yeah, no, I think Microsoft was just like, this is too much of a risk. And at that time, they didn't want to go with risks. They wanted to go with hits. And it's like I said earlier, for every one of these games that does good, like Genshin, there's about 10 to 15 that come out and flop easily. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And I learned something new today. Thank you. You're welcome.
No problem, man.
Yeah. There's I know some Twitch partners out here in Japan, and they stream Genshin Impact, and they're like some of the temple design and everything. It's just not right. It's like huh? That's not Japanese.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just a little nitpicky stuff when you're playing the game. But anyway.
Oh, morning, Dark Fairy.
Hey, Dark Fairy. Hey, welcome on in. Yeah. So,
all
right. So next up, we're going to be talking about spiritual opium. Spiritual opium, Burley. You know what spiritual opium is? It's our motto for our show here and for all of our shows. Yeah. It makes us really Genki. Genki in Japanese means in great spirits, and when we play video games and all. But to the Chinese, spiritual opium is like an addiction when it comes to gaming. And they had to quell that. And supposedly they believe that they have resolved the issue of gaming addiction. We're going to be talking about that and what they're working on next with the Chinese government, as well as like companies like Tencent, right after this. So stay tuned.
Okay.
Spiritual opium, Burley. All right. China resolves gaming addiction so it may no longer need pesky industry regulations. So, yeah, that was a big problem because kids in China under the age of 18, they can only play video games 3 hours a week. 1 hour on Friday, 1 hour on Saturday, 1 hour on Sunday. Can you believe that, Burley?
Oh, that wouldn't have flown well over here in North America.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. There would be a mass revolt, right?
Well, it's like 3 hours a night. Sure, maybe I could understand, but like you can't play more than 3 hours a night. This is the thing. Like My parents, I played a lot as a kid and growing up, but as long as my homework was done, I had my homework done.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would go home right away, just have something to have a snack, grab a drink, and then go get my homework done quick, and then I could play.
Yeah.
As long as homework was done, didn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you got companies like Tencent that during this crackdown on gaming, they actually had facial recognition, invasive facial recognition to keep minors from late night gaming sessions.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, it's kind of crazy. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and read some of this article here. So I'll put the link to the article below here. This is from gizmodo.com, China gaming addiction. So, yeah. Solving gaming addiction sounds as easy as solving alcoholism, but China's state-affiliated body overseeing video games seems about ready to call recent efforts at curbing gaming use among children a success. The Financial Times and Reuters both reported that China's state-aligned committee on video games released a report this last Tuesday that says the country has somehow resolved gaming addiction for minors. The country has had regulations in place since August of last year, when it tried enforcing a gaming curfew for children that limited them to, like I said earlier, 1 hour of gaming on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. At the time, the Beijing government called video games spiritual opium, Burley. Spiritual opium. Yes. The report from the state-aligned China Games Publishers Association, or the GPC, noted that 75% of minors played less than 3 hours a week. The report also seems to indicate China may be willing to back down from tough regulations that have haunted the country's game industry. China's big game publishers were also given props for their efforts to suppress time spent gaming by minors, according to Reuters' report. And like I said, Tencent has used technology as invasive as face recognition to keep minors from late-night gaming sessions. The new report comes just a week after Chinese state media People's Daily reportedly wrote an editorial called "Deeply Exploring the Value of the Electronic Games Industry is an Opportunity We Can't Miss." The piece reportedly framed gaming as another aspect of China's approach on the world stage, writing that the European Union has given games, quote, extremely high economic, technological, cultural, and even strategic value, end quote. Essentially arguing China should do the same. So basically, what's going on here is now they see that they could capitalize on their economy that is, kind of in free fall at the moment in China. So to get back into the video game industry's good graces, to kind of lower the restrictions on gaming for minors, because they think that everybody's been cured and 75 or more % of kids 18 or younger play less than 3 hours a week, so that companies like Tencent and others and like other game development studios can flourish and can possibly, like what Sony is doing, try to make deals with them, or even Microsoft. What do you think, Burley? Your thoughts?
Well, first thing first, we got Fubu saying in the chat, 1 hour, you need to pump those numbers up, rookie numbers.
Exactly.
Kids in the US wait till 21 to say, now I can drink. And China's like, can wait till 18 to say, now I can game all I want. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, it's realizing, because it's backfiring, because people can't play as long. So people are realizing, well, I wanted to play a little of this, but 1 to 3 hours, depending on what you're doing, won't get like 3 hours a week. That's all. So it's like, I can't do all these in these long games, and I got to play these China games only.
Yeah.
So it's like, what? Well, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to put the money in it. And because the country has, they invested Tencent and take some of the profit and all that, while they're like, frig, numbers are down. Fuck. We need to get people to be able to play again as long as they want. Shit, we need to make a bullshit reason so people will play again, and we don't look like the idiots that we are. It's like,
yeah, well, the thing is, those regulations that the government put on the like Tencent and NetEase, for example, that put a lot of pressure on them. So obviously they're going to come and say, oh, these restrictions are working well, and all of the children, are complying with the regulations, and now they play less than 3 hours a week. But come on, man. Come on. There's loopholes in there. You know that these kids, not all of these kids are complying with this 3 hour a week thing. I mean, you probably got kids. You got kids that are like renting, like, or buying different accounts, or, parents are using their facial recognition, and then after that, letting their kids play. I mean, come on.
And Fugu says, okay. Now, serious opinion. Studies have shown that certain elements that were controlled in children, when they get older, those elements are destructive when they're older, such as don't smoke, don't drink. I think they're restrained to 1 hour. Now in the future, they'll be the worst addicts. Oh yeah, that I can believe. No, you're only allowed 1 hour. Oh, now you're past that age. Fuck it, I can just play as long as I want. I'm done being a child. I can do it as long as I want. I don't care.
Yeah, and there's been other studies out there too that say that video gaming is like good for people that have disabilities, for example. Hand-eye coordination has always benefited those that are video gamers. I mean, so yeah, I mean
well, we've had studies over here in Canada, and it's been on mainstream news. It's helped doctors, and like surgeons and all that, and they say because the hand-eye coordination, and stuff like that. It's just they're doing anything right here. China is doing anything to save face, get people back in, because they want the money has gone down. It's all about the money. Don't kid yourself. Don't listen to the bullshit speak. Like not even Vince McMahon himself could try and spin this, and he was pretty good at spinning shit back in the day.
Yeah, but I mean, just like I said, lowering these restrictions, it's going to, open the floodgates for a lot of these Chinese developers to make new deals, like the Sony plan we talked about earlier, and 70 new games have been released now. The Chinese government has given, of course, approval on these games, so. Yeah, I think one of them is a Crisis Core. I think it was. I forget the name. Or Metal Slug. No, Metal Slug was one of the games. I thought it was Metal Slug. Yeah. So I mean, that's one of the things about China. I mean, all the restrictions. Everything has to be approved by the government. Could you imagine, like in Canada and the U.S., like every game that comes out would have to be approved by like the Biden administration or the like Trudeau in Canada? And all
nothing would ever come out. Nothing. I'm not. I don't even want to take a step. It doesn't matter whatever government is in power here in Canada. Doesn't matter what party. Nothing would get done.
Yeah, probably. So thank goodness it's not regulated like that. I mean,
and nor should it be. That's the thing. Like. Government overbound goes into too many areas where they're telling us what you can and cannot do. Video games is something that should have no hand. I know China's a whole other ball of wax, that country. I feel for people living in that country.
So I mean, So we got the ticker here going. So some programming notes, obviously, of course. If you're new to the Arena Productions, of course, be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and the notification bell for when we drop a new episode here of the morning show, as well as all of our other content here on the Arena Productions. And of course, like I said at the very beginning of the show, this will be our last show of this week. Because of the Thanksgiving and the Black Friday, days, and Thanksgiving holiday weekend. So, we here at the Arena Productions, of course, wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving and a great Black Friday weekend. Of course, where all the holiday deals are, and getting your Christmas shopping into full gear. And we will be back again on Monday for our next regularly scheduled morning show at our regularly scheduled times. So yeah, so stay tuned for that. So yeah. So yeah, I remember just a few things. I remember like the day after Thanksgiving, we would always put our Christmas tree up. We never used real Christmas trees. We bought like from a big Christmas imitation fake Christmas tree from the department store, and we would always box it up and put it in the attic every year, and then bring it down, and then we would put it together the day after Thanksgiving on Black Friday, after we would go out and do all our shopping and stuff, and we would spray it with flock out in the garage and let the flock dry, and then about maybe 2 hours later we would bring it into the main entrance hall, and we would decorate it and everything. And yeah, it was some fun memories back in the times when I was in the US for Thanksgiving. But out here in Japan, obviously, Thanksgiving is not celebrated, so it's just another regular working day here. But yeah, I still remember all those great times back in the US, and all my friends and everybody that are back there, and I wish them all, and all of you out there that are in the US especially, and everywhere else in the world that you do celebrate Thanksgiving Day. Yeah, I wish you all a great day, spending time with your families and having a lot of great food. And of course, in the US, American football, of course, the Dallas Cowboy, Detroit Lions games and all. So yeah, so
Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, they're unfortunately they're called America's team, which they really aren't. But I say that
Bills.
because I'm a San Francisco 49er fan. That's my home team, the 49ers. I'm from San Francisco originally. So.
Go Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills. Okay, whatever. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the NFL is really popular on Thanksgiving Day. So traditionally, the Detroit Lions would play the morning game, and then the early afternoon game would be the Dallas, game. But of course, in the morning, the Thanksgiving Day parade, Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. I remember my mother always getting up in the middle of the night and rotating the turkey in the oven. And then we would get up early at like 7 in the morning, because out on the West Coast, it's 7 in the morning. Whereas in New York City, where the parade is being held like at 10 in the morning, we watch it on TV, watch all the floats and everything. And really cool. Good stuff. So.
And we got a few things in chat here. Dark Fairy saying stay safe during the holidays. You guys have a good holiday too. Yeah, it won't be a holiday for us because Canada, we had our Thanksgiving last month in October. But it's just, we figure might as well take the time off with everyone else.
Yeah.
Going.
Yeah. So
and we hope anyone that will be celebrating Thanksgiving, you have a safe holiday, have a good time with your family.
Yeah, definitely. So alrighty. So yeah, and of course this coming weekend we will be recording our next episode 113 of the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. So stay tuned for that. So we're going to be talking in our topic of the show about the big game releases for December. So stay tuned for that. I have mine. I'm ready to get into that. We'll be talking about it as well as Burley and Carl. So yeah, so stay tuned for that, and we'll probably have some other videos thrown up as well. So stay tuned for those during the holiday break. So yeah, good stuff.
And we got Fubu in the chat here, and never been to America, but I feel Thanksgiving is something mine because all of the series I see and saw. Yeah, I saw it every medium. Yeah, and then Dark Fairy. Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah, we will be off tomorrow and Friday. We will be back for the morning show again on Monday. So yep. Alrighty. So I've been your host X-Bat along with my co-host Burleman Gaming. We hope to catch you in the next episode of the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast morning show. So have a great Thanksgiving and Black Friday and holiday weekend. We hope to catch you again on Monday. So take care, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Out.